Hi, this is Daniel Becker from Cryptid Wilderness Research out here in Texarkana, Arkansas with my research partner, one of my research partners, William Lunsford. And William, I wanted to ask you, when is the first time you ever heard about the Fouke Monster?
The first time I ever heard about the Fouke Monster was back when I was in the 7th grade. That was back in 1971 when a series of events began to happen almost concurrently, where there was a creature that was described as being about 7 foot and about 350 pounds that was trying to get into some people's homes. It was actually sticking its hand through the window trying to reach in at the ladies, while at the same time a family from Texarkana happened to be coming home from Louisiana. The thing ran in front of their vehicle, and it seemed like it was all beginning to happen together. It made national news what had happened, and so the legend began, or didn't begin, but the legend actually continued on, because it actually began in 1908. They're from the very first sighting that other people had seen. And so after that, a national, an Arkansas radio station picked up the story, and then the national press picked up the story, and all of a sudden it was in all of the newspapers about the Fouke Monster. They even presented anybody who could catch it or kill it with a proposed bounty. Of course, they never did.
Right.
And so with that time right there, the legend began to gain in fame. But once they found this out, what they found out was there had been sightings throughout the years. And it wasn't just during that time, but throughout all these years. And so folks would have a sighting, that it would pop up, and people would sometimes they dismiss it, but this was a small community. Most of the news was spread down through the supper tables, you know, when folks and family gathered around their dinner tables at night. And if it was spread at all, they would pick it up. It would last for a little while and it would go. But it remained in everybody's mind in the little town of Fouke, Arkansas. And it remained actually in the mind of the rest of the people here in the country too, because it became a movie then, back about, I think about 1972 or 73. It was on a very low budget. The money actually had to be borrowed. Even that had to be borrowed from a local welding company. And whenever it did, it became a national bestseller there, because every drive-in that you went through, for those who don't know what a drive-in is, they would have a big movie screen out built in the middle of the field, and they would have these audio boxes that you would put into your window, and it would broadcast the audio of the movie while it was sitting there playing in front of you. Every drive-in that you went past had the Legend of Boggy Creek playing through it, and it became a cult classic. But the reason it's such a cult classic is because it happened in the country to some people there who weren't expecting anything. And most of us have kinfolks, friends, or relatives out there in the country, and you're out there, you've been out there playing, been in the fields, been out in the yards, doing an Easter egg hunt, whatever you want to do. And it was happening to them, and they realized if it could happen to them, it could happen to other people as well. So again, it became just a story of national interest. But the thing that makes it still interesting today is the sightings are still going on. This is 2024, and the sightings are still going on. The happenings are still going on. And so that's one of those things that whenever you have the opportunity of an occurrence like that you just can't seem to shake. And a lot of the people now have all, a lot of them have all died and gone on, and it's a whole new generation of people that are seeing this thing. And I got to speak with the sheriff not long ago, who was the sheriff at that time. He said what really shook him up was knowing that there had to be something to it, was because a lot of these people were not from this area. They'd never heard of the Fouke Monster, and yet they were calling the sheriff's office and reporting sightings. And so again, that began to build the reputation and the legend of the creature going on. And I myself have seen the creature. I saw one in 1971, and actually again saw one in 1985, and I became obsessed with learning more about this creature, not just because of the intrigue, but because the places I had seen it was a place where I'd been all my life, where I'd hunted and fished, and with my dad and my friends, and to realize that it was there and we were sharing the same territory, that I needed to find out something about it. So again, I have, like I said, I've seen the creature or his kinfolks at least 7 times. I've never really counted, because I do go to other parts of the country now and have witnessed Bigfoot as being a totally real creature. There's no doubt about it. And so that right there, but it's still being seen. There was a sighting back then right around Christmas of 2023. There's people out there who have got them around their property. As soon as they get home at night, they begin to scream and howl as they come down the county roads there. So it's a very, very still intriguing phenomenon that goes on, and the creature has not died. There's also a breeding population of them. If the original creature has died, then his kinfolk have taken over, and so there's a breeding population. We find babies all the time. I get their pictures. We see appears to be, based on the footprints and the size, appear to be males and females. So again, it's something that really that I enjoy doing. Other people have come down there, and they tend to call me. I get about 2 calls a week from people who are having some kind of sighting or some kind of encounters that are happening, and I appreciate them sharing that with me. I get to go check a lot of them, and whenever I do, I find some of the same things today that were happening 50 years ago, in 1971, when the creature first became a public phenomenon.
Oh, that is something else. All right, we'll have more with my research partner, William Lunsford, so stay tuned.